How are we doing, Robust family? Look, before this show starts, which I know you're going to enjoy, can I ask you just to do me a small favor? I need all of you to give a robust smash to that like and subscribe button. Why? Because it helps us a lot. We want to get this material out there, and it makes sure that you do not miss a breakfast show beat on this Liberty Radio YouTube channel. All right, guys, do it right now, and I'll see you in the show. Good morning to you. It's that time, guys. It's time to shine. It's time to rise. That's right. It's your breakfast show. And as you know, I'm your host, Robert Ashitey, your robust presenter. And we have our lady of sound, Kathleen. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Buenos dias.
Hello.
Yeah, we have those who work in the church and they speak Spanish. So I'm like, buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
How you doing today?
I'm good.
Every time I try to speak Spanish, I have a smile in my mouth.
¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás? Okay, so we know we're ready for today. Yes. And also joining us at the table of justice right now, as you can see, we've had a closed wardrobe change. Am I right, Kat?
Yeah.
A wardrobe change. We have, as I'm speaking Spanish in the land of Buenos dias, coming from the land of Barcelona, we have the one and only, the lady herself. Chanel. Good morning to you, Lady Jazz.
Good morning.
How are we doing today?
We're good. Bien.
Muy bien. So you came back with a little bit of Spanish?
Yeah, but my daughter's got it all.
Easy.
Yeah, because she learned it at school, so
yes.
She was doing all the translation for me.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to have you with us today on Thursday on the Table of Justice. And as I'm going to Spain, I have to go the other way. It's the one and only lady. She's never ever playing. That's right. Drop it like it's hot.
Is that my theme music?
Esther.
No, not that one.
Is that my theme music?
No, not that one. No. You know what? I was responsible for that, No, not that
So
one.
we're doing Bridgerton. It's not. Hi, morning breakfast show. Morning, guys. I'm not pleased.
Okay, so go work on that one.
Do you know what? I can explain. You know what? Remember last week I said Judge Judy.
Yeah.
That's Judge Judy's song, but not that one, the original one.
Okay.
That caught me off guard. I thought it was Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm thinking, what is going on? I didn't even know what to say.
I thought that was nice. I love classical music, maybe because I'm biased.
I felt like I was supposed to wear those big Bridgerton dresses and wear the corsets.
That was awesome. And by the way, you're looking very wide awake today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Esther said that because now she does a bit more traveling in the morning, it really spruces her up. You're spruced up.
And that TFL will wake you up by force trying to catch a seat on that train. Like,
I'm just looking at you.
Pushing and shoving.
Yeah, just make sure because you're under 6 foot, you don't end up under somebody else's armpits.
Yeah, them ones there, especially in the summer, treacherous.
Yeah, exactly.
Danger.
And by the way, you notice how she said summer as past tense?
No.
Right, UK
it's
life.
Done.
Yeah, but we have to forgive them. You have to forgive.
No, it's unforgivable, especially when I just come back from Spain.
Yeah.
And then I wake up the next day and it's raining on Saturday.
Exactly.
I was like, what?
Man, at least you got Spain.
Yeah.
Okay, you're there complaining. In the wilderness for 40 years. You actually got to taste the promised land for a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice food as well.
All right.
Yeah.
And speaking of the promised land, today is Thursday, relationship power. All right. And it's all about, as we said earlier in the first part, having good relationships with ourselves, those around us, and romantic relationships. And today is going to be a very, very interesting thing where we're going to be talking about running away from our past. We actually have a very nice video. Can we play that video? Can we at least play that video? Because it's Pirates of the Caribbean, right? On the show.
Let me just find it.
Yeah. So basically, we have a nice video. If you are on our Breath Show broadcast, you may have seen it. I think it's absolutely awesome. And just to give a bit of context, Bishop was last week speaking in Love Therapy, and he was talking about how our past, whether it's relationships, whether it's behaviors, attitudes, things from our past, we're living today. We can have a brand new start, but guess what? We just can't escape them. Check this out. Time to go. Yeah, the struggle is real. Turn up, Cat. Yeah. You just want to move on. You just want to move forward. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, maybe we subconsciously or subliminally have things of our past that is getting in the way of our progress. All right. So we're going to be looking at that today. We're going to be having the one and only Sabrina Durant joining us, the one and only Chris Brown joining us, and also will be joining us as well very, very shortly. All right, but guys, here's another thing very quickly. Nicole, she got some good grades in her exams.
Yeah, she did. So she's getting into the university of her choice.
Fantastic.
Period.
Well done, Nicole. Well done to you and everybody else who took your exams. Well done. If you didn't get what you wanted, keep pushing. The road continues. It's not the end of the journey. And actually, I have a video to inspire all of you, especially you, Nicole, and all of you that you're getting into this new term of school. I just want to wish you well and just to say, you know what? Just get onto this vibe. Get onto this vibe. This is the vibe that I want you all to be in. Because if you've won, great. If you didn't get what you want, guess what? You're still alive. Your heart's still beating. Let's move on. All right. See the best option. Use your faith. Sprinkle salt. Anoint with oil. Do what you need to do. And let's keep it moving. Check this video out. This is for you guys. Ooh. That's it. That's it. That's it. Right, yes, there. That's it. The biggest academic comeback. All right. And you know what? As well as doing well in academia, maybe you might need to make a comeback in the love life. Maybe you might need to make a comeback in relationship life, or even having a good relationship with yourself to start off with. So we're going to be looking at some more stuff.
Somebody at the door.
Hey! What's happening? Okay. Let's say over that side. All right, good. Table of Justice is propagating. Fantastic, take a seat. All right, yes, the one and only. How you doing? Chris Brown has entered the studio. We're going to let you settle in, mate. We're going to let you settle in. I know you fought a few dragons to get here. We're going to make sure you settle in. All right, guys, as we're getting it started, we had our morning coffee question today. We had our morning coffee question for this morning. I believe I sent it onto the Breakfast Show broadcast. All right, what's the Breakfast Show broadcast? Maybe some of you hear me mention that word, Breakfast Show broadcast. Basically, we have the WhatsApp line, all right, which uses the WhatsApp platform, so that allows you to communicate with us wherever you are on the globe, all right? And basically, so when we give out the MCQ, those on the broadcast get the information first, all right? So they can kind of prepare, and it helps to keep the program flow going. And Kat, what was the question that we asked today?
The question that we asked today was, can you share an idea or experience from your past that delayed you from moving forward for something?
All right, guys. So can you share, all right, an experience from your past that delayed you from moving forward for something? It can be relationship related, or it could be related to something else. All right, because Chris is fighting there.
I'm here.
You're good.
I'm good. Sorry, guys.
All right. Is there something? Let us know. We gave we gave that just before the time out. Was wearing our original attire this morning. And what was it? Have you had that kind of experience? And I'm sure I know Chanel. She's always on these MCQs like a vampire in a blood bank. Wow. Literally, she's just on it like. And she's just ready to drop it. So have you had that kind of experience where something from your past, an idea from your past, maybe ideally related to love life, but it could be for something else that has impacted you? If you could share that with us.
Just need to get back to you because I've got several in my head, but I want to pick the right one.
Okay.
So come back to me.
Yeah, I think it was a bit quick for you guys because we mentioned that at the beginning of the show, and I'm actually quite curious. Let me have a look here on the WhatsApp line to see what our listeners are saying here. A situation that took place. So we have Shazad from Ilford, and he says something very nice. He says, unfortunately, I'm at work, but my answer is having both families invested in a relationship can't pass the faith test. Okay, having both families invested in a relationship can't pass. Okay, so imagine that you come from a family, right? However, you know that the family probably are not in faith. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm assuming here, I'm kind of like just trying to gel together the context. So you're trying to start a relationship, but literally all the family is doesn't pass the faith test, and you're trying to push on with it, you know. So maybe that's something that could have affected your past. Maybe to stand your guns, to hold your guns, to know your faith depends on me and the quality of the faith of the person I'm with to go forward. And yeah, that could be something. That could be actually something. On the table of justice here, do we have anything like that? Something. Everyone looked at you like, I'm trying to think let me think, because I think I've had moments like this. I've had moments where I think related to, you know what? I'll have to give one. I have to share one.
Go on.
All right, but this one's related to VYG. No, listen.
I want to hear this.
Check this out. All right, so basically what happened is that we had a competition. Esther was around at those times, so we had Gad versus Simeon, right? And I remember we had this task that we had to do. We had to get famous people, whatever. And Gad, we do what I do. We went in and we did a lot more than what was required. However, when we was competing,
you even brought A dot, no? Was that your try?
That was the first one, yeah. Okay. Then the second one we went with the footballer and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I know Peggy from EastEnders. But what's it called? Yeah, we went in. So what happened is we was going to perform and we wanted to kill the other team called Simeon. However, the leader, the angel of Simeon, he started to give a lot of big talk. He's like, come on then, let's go. But he was bluffing. So because I know that they have a really good game, I was like, I didn't go back hard enough, you know, and I kind of like, yeah, all right, no problem. And then they kind of managed to wiggle out of it and we let them escape. So that was me allowing something that happened previously, even though we did all that we could and we defeated everybody on that day. But because of a bit of a bluff, I didn't go full strength to kind of, how can I say, contend directly with that opponent, if that makes sense. So I kind of backed down a little bit because of their bluff, right? Because they've done well before, even though we did exceptionally well that day. So it's just an example. Some things, just because of a bit of mouth somebody was giving, it kind of made me draw back a bit and miss an opportunity to slaughter them even more, you know? So did everyone get that? Yeah. Did you get it?
I can't think of one right now, but yeah, I got it.
You got it, yeah.
So you got a celebrity. Was it a task force to get a celebrity?
Yeah, so we had a success task where we had to get someone who's been successful.
Yeah. And
so everybody went around hunting for people. Some people got like a head teacher. Some people, which was good. Some people, they got the guy from Top Boy in Brixton, Morley's Chicken and Chip Shop. But we did the first one we did Peggy from EastEnders. We had Damilola Taylor's dad. We did a British boxer. What's his name? Oh, I can't remember.
Frank
but it was
Bruno.
No, it wasn't Frank Bruno.
Josh.
Huh?
Josh.
No. It was before then.
Chris Eubanks.
Yeah. No. But he was a popular one. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. So we got 5, and then we got Bishop Renato, because Bishop Renato those times was scarce. You could not find him because he wasn't in the country. So whenever we got him, everyone's like, "And you topped off Bishop Renato." So we beat up everybody, you know. And the second time, we went harder. So anyway, just to give an example that even though we've done all of that, just because of a little bit of dialogue from the opposition, I let them get away with challenging them directly. You know what I mean? And so I never forget that. As you can tell, you know. So yeah, anyone else? It's where something of your past or something that impeded your choice going forward, impeded you going forward. Let's see. I mean, there's a lot in this life. Thank you so much for Shazad for sending that through to us. All right, but anyway, we'll let echo through this morning. We've got some comments here from Elliot. Elliot says, "Good morning, BFS family. Have a blessed day, guys. Thank you." Okay, we're still good. All right, so we're gonna go into it. We're gonna go into our theme for today. All right. Where it's about our past impeding us from having a good love life. Now, why is this important? The reason why this is important is because at the end of the day, when it comes to love life, we all just want a bit of harmony, right? We just want a bit of harmony. We know that men and women, they're very, very different. And it can be a bit tough because of the differences that we have. So I'm going to show you a very short video of what we're actually trying to achieve, especially with the love talk, the couple dancing, Kat. The couple, that's it. What we're trying to achieve like a symbiosis in our relationship life, and really this is what we want. This is all that we want. Take it away, Leonardo.
Wow, you can really dance. Wow, you can really dance.
That's it. That's all we want.
He went.
These AI characters.
I don't know. I think it's real.
Both been dancing all this time. What a coincidence.
Oh, nice. But you see, the two was in total symbiosis. They were completely happy. That's it. Isn't that what everybody wants?
It's the ultimate, right?
It's the ultimate. They were
Yeah.
both there moving the same, gyrating and all that kind of stuff. They were just completely happy. And that's the goal, right, Chris?
That is the goal. That is the goal.
Go ahead, mate.
Okay. What I was going to say, that is the goal, ultimate, but along the way, you have to grow together.
Yeah.
Find out things about each other. You don't automatically come together and there you are, symbiosis and it's all well and all that. You've got to find out along the way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then guess what? Unfortunately, we have challenges that come up, right?
Yeah.
Right? We have different things that happen where, what can I say? If we don't get the right advice and we keep things in and the past doesn't get resolved, things can explode or implode in a very negative fashion, Esther. Check this video out, guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah. That lady, wrong culture to do that in, man. Wrong culture. You want to play it again? All right, go ahead. Let's go. Let's play it again.
his face.
No way.
Could you imagine what was running through his mind? That's terrible. We all laugh at it, but it's terrible. But yeah,
The struggle is real.
you know
I've
the
seen
thing
it
that gets me
all.
about that is I'm looking at his face and I'm thinking he's actually played that in his mind already before it
Yeah.
happened. And all
It
of a
was
sudden,
definitely
the
premeditated.
mind takes over, then the body takes over. I can't hold myself,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but at the end of the day, who was wrong in that image? Who was wrong?
The
Esther?
woman.
Well,
it was
Time
the
and a
woman.
place.
Yeah.
Time and a place.
Yeah.
And it's execution. Like me, I don't like shouting. You don't
Yeah,
get anything by shouting. Like,
yeah, yeah.
And plus, you're around different types of people.
Yeah.
Like, even a guy beside us, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Time and a place, man. You can't
Yeah.
be doing that in public and in front of people. It's embarrassing for the man.
Yeah, yeah. And Chanel, it just shows how important things like love talk is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is because I do Sorry, I'm trying to get off the video. I do understand the guy's frustration.
Yeah.
However, he could have addressed it, and he could have just addressed it and say, "Look, can you please stop?" Instead of holding it inside.
But he's only human.
Yeah,
No, there's only
Yeah,
so much a man can
so
take.
much.
Yeah.
It was definitely the woman's fault.
yeah.
Wow. We have some comments here. That escalated quickly. That was from Prince. Everyone's cracking up. Julie says, good morning, Robert Can. All breakfast show faithfuls. Top of the morning to you all.
Miss Julie.
Yes, me Julie. I would like to
Love
be even
Miss
see me
Julie, man.
Julie. This is less than me Julie.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not the original
Love
me
you too,
Julie.
Miss
Yeah,
Julie.
love her. She's me Julie. Morning all. May God bless you all. Manchester Powerhouse. Love it. Yeah, so there we have it. So that's the struggle.
yeah.
The struggle is real, and we're trying to navigate love life as much as we can. However, Sabrina's arrived. Oh, that's good to hear. That's great. So, however, as we said, we're talking about challenges, and one of the biggest challenges that we have is that men and women communicate differently, right? They communicate differently. I would say women are a bit more, how can I say, from what I've experienced,
Expressive.
women are expressive, and I feel like they have more of the cards in the relationship. I feel that they have more, what's that word? They can, how can I say, control the situation more. They can, they could steer the situation more. I think so. I mean, look at that lady we saw just a second ago. There was only one outcome, right? So they're influencers. They have a very big influence. I really do believe. And just to show you the challenge we have that women have, men have influence as well. But I think, as you saw in the previous video, men's version of influence is a bit more physical, right? And it's like, no, that's it. It's more hardcore. It's more obvious. Whereas women, they have a very subtle influence. And check this out.
Of course you can look at it. Yeah, I want your opinion too.
Okay.
Here you go. What do you think about centerpieces?
Centerpieces.
Yeah. Roses or lilies?
Definitely roses. Well, I just think they're a little bit more wedding-y, you know.
Dude.
But lilies are the clear choice.
It's like one mind.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no?
It's a big yes. You know, with that, as you're saying, women and men think differently. I think that women do have that more influence, more subtle undertone that goes through. They don't do it as rational. Men think in a rational way.
Yeah.
This and that's it, and that's it.
Yeah, and I think another key thing, I believe that men, well, when a man chooses a woman, he will do anything for that woman, right? When a man chooses a woman, you know, he will do anything to make her happy. From what I understand, there are nuances with personalities and behaviors and what they choose to do, but in their mind, whatever it takes to make her happy, I will do that. And I think women can take advantage of that. Esther.
Yeah,
What do you
women can. Most women tend to. But then again, it's all about what you learn. What you learn love to be.
Yeah.
I feel like if a woman has her head together, she's not going to abuse it, but
Yeah.
she's going to reciprocate it.
Yeah.
Because even seeing it in my own household, like it was my dad that definitely pursued my mom. My mom never liked my dad at first, funny enough. But now it's very mutual. They do things for each other. They find each other's interest and trying to find the balance between it.
Yeah. And that's something that had to come with time.
With time, with experience, you have to know the person. There's only so much that you can understand when you're single. But when you're with the person and you have the mentality like, listen, this is till death do us part.
Yeah.
You have to invest on doing things to show to your partner that, listen, I care about you. I'm listening to you. I care about your desires, your needs, your wants.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
And, you know, logically speaking, that information sounds perfectly fine. Unfortunately, we're human beings. And human beings have a whole different script depending on situations. And our past can play a big role. Yes or no, Chanel?
Yeah, I always say that your past is your personality. You know.
Oh, there's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door.
There's two people at the door.
Okay. Just wait there, you guys. We've got the one on Sabrina Durant and Will. Just come in, guys. Yeah, come in. I'm going to sort you out. We're going to sort out the seating arrangement.
Have to go to a break.
Yeah, we're going to a break, obviously. But we just want to hear from Chanel very quickly. Sorry, you're saying Chanel.
I always say this, your past is your personality. So if you're someone that had a really bad past, but then you learn from it, and then you be one step ahead of it for it not to happen again, and you allowed the person beside you to learn from it, like your partner, then that is your personality. But if you allow the past to get the best of you and you develop that trust issues, then it is affecting your personality and it's affecting your relationship. So it's your choice how you want to live your past.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. All right, guys. So look, guys, it is a choice, and we're going to be learning quite a few things today. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So make sure you wake up your friends, wake up the people who are sleeping, because let's pass through this together. All right. We've got Love Therapy tonight at 8 p.m. It's going to be a new one, but those of you who were part of it last week, you can catch up, get a refresh, and also share your thoughts and share your comments. We're going to go for a very short time out, but we got our morning coffee question for today, which is once again, Kat.
It is, can you share an idea or experience from your past that delayed you from moving forward for something?
All right. Share an experience from your past that delayed you from moving forward for something. I shared mine, but we keep on moving forward. All right, we're going to go for a timeout. Kat, what's on go for us?
We have To Daddy by Dina Mawe featuring Lima Blaze.
Excellent. All right, guys, we're right back in just a moment, right after this. All right, guys, welcome back. This is your breakfast show. I'm your host, Robert Ashitey, and the table of justice is now complete. The table of justice is now complete. To my left, we have the one and only Chris Brown. Say what's up. All right. And beside him, we have the one and only Esther Versace. Esther, I don't know, it just flowed. Esther. Good morning to you, Esther. Good morning to you.
Hey guys, hey.
And to my right, we have the man who can. It's I Am Will. Yes, you understand. What's up, brother? Yes. And beside him, we have the silent assassin, the lady who's au couture, all by herself. Je ne sais quoi, elle est rouge, a perfume after her own name. It's Sabrina Durant Ebony. Is it Ebony?
No.
Yvonne. Sabrina Yvonne. Good morning to you, Sabrina.
Morning.
Hey, so it's good to have you on the show. And beside her, we have our breakfast show legend. It's the one and only Lady Jazz herself, Chanel. Good morning to you, Lady Jazz.
Good morning, y'all. How are you?
All right, guys, look, it's so good to be here. And before the timeout, we posed a morning coffee question today. Kat, what was the question?
It was, where's the music?
Hey.
It was, can you share an idea or experience from your past that delayed you from moving forward for something?
All right, an experience. And it's great. I love it because our breakfast show faithfuls have come through. Well, my niece has come through, actually, and I thank God for that. So I wonder what it was that from her past delayed her from moving forward. Let's have a look. This is Tatiana. Tats, let's have a listen to you, lady.
Good morning, breakfast. Oh my gosh.
Nice intro.
Back to school. Well, I think an idea that can stop you from moving forward from something
Who's yours?
is always constantly having what if in your head.
Okay.
What if it did work out?
Yeah.
What if I did differently?
Yeah.
And I think that is a big thing that is holding me back before when it's come to moving on from something.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly, instead of facing the reality of what the situation is, you're constantly in like la la land, thinking about, but what if it worked out with this person? Oh, but what if I didn't get the job? Instead of, no, I didn't get this job. What could I have done differently? Or it didn't work out with this person. What needed to be done? What was in me that was, or what was in him that wasn't? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, gotta let go of the what if. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Yeah, that's a very big one. I'm really proud of her, This is actually psychological therapy. Because I think what ifs is a big one. What ifs is a big one in the love life. I know many times I've had what if I, like, God gives, something comes to my heart, and sometimes I'm very careful in how I approach my wife throughout the years with a what if, because they might not receive it positively. You could go all guns out blazing, like, but you want to be approaching things carefully. And so sometimes you can be diffused, or your intention, which may be a good one, by a what if, right, Chris?
Yeah. What ifs, we tend to think about, look, what if this has happened? What has that happened? We play it out in our heads at the same time. Thank you. But the thing about it, if you don't do it, you're never going to find out what that what if is at the end of the day. Yeah. Anyone
here have been impacted by a what if? I think if none of you have, I don't know what universe.
I've had what ifs.
Yeah? Was there a situation like that?
Yeah. My first relationship that I was in, I didn't really voice my feelings.
Yeah.
It was more so, you did something, like, I'm out, like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
But it's a situation where it's like, what if I learned how to express how I felt and why I felt that way, what caused me to feel that way?
Yeah.
Maybe it would have helped solve a lot of things, because at the end of the day, he didn't know me. So, yeah.
That's true. And I think also being in faith, we try to be the good shepherd, right? So which means we try to be patient. We try to be, to not go to the other side of being forceful, right? To try to be like Jesus. But sometimes there's some things we need to do, but we diffuse it with a what if. Anyone else have anything concerning that? Anything that you've that stopped you from moving forward in your past? Yes.
I've got something. So this one is related to my financial life. So as a lot of people know, I'm a teacher. But this is something that I've wanted to be a very long time, from a young age. But then I always thought, I don't have the grades for it. You have to have an A in English. You have to have an A in maths. You have to have this and that and that. So I took another career ladder.
Okay. So this is your past
Yeah.
impacting your choices going forward.
which I enjoyed, but it just wasn't for me. And then I ended up back in a school, which was weird. So when I set up, so then one day I was talking to a teacher and I said, oh, you know, and I was in my 30s when this happened. Oh, I'd like to be a teacher someday. And they're like, yeah, it's easy. You just, have you got a degree? I said, yeah, I'm almost finishing my degree. Yeah, then just take 1 year off your PGC and I'm like, what? So there were other ways. And in my mind I was thinking, gosh, if I had asked in the first place, if I had sought advice, I would have been able to get the answer straight away, and I probably would have been a head teacher or something by now. But then the fact that I found this out of my face because I did not ask. So, and then I found that my daughter was doing the same thing. She was not asking, but I became one step ahead of her, and I told her, look, don't do what I did by not asking, because you don't want to look back at your age and your prime age and think, gosh, what if I had asked? What if
There comes what if again as well.
So I do regret not asking in the first place, because I wasted a lot of time, but at least I'm there now. So, yeah.
All right. So because of something in your past that happened, it affected you asking or voicing what you wanted in the current, and it caused a delay.
Yeah.
Powerful.
So it did question, what else have I not asked about, which I could have gotten far in life as well.
Wow, powerful. Chris, yes, let's hear you, because I know you had your one that you was like, yeah, there's that situation.
No, it just went from my head, but I got it.
Yeah.
Talking about what if, and now I'll jump back to the whole thing, obviously we're talking about relationships and all that. I can remember in the past, this was way back before, like going through like traumatic relationships and things like that at the time. And I remember after, this is when I actually came to God at the end of the day, I started thinking in this way, look, you know what? I'm only going to focus on my work and my faith, right? And situations came up. And
so you, because of your past, you said you're gonna,
because
you basically just said, I'm going to focus on these two things. Nothing else is important.
Nothing else is important when it came to relationships and all that. And I went on like that for a while. I mean, at the same time, dating and things like that, but yet still it's like.
Did you already change within yourself from the person that you was? Did you already heal?
I hadn't completely changed at that time. Okay. Yeah, that was back before. You know, I hadn't completely changed, but it was the what if. Well, what if this happens again? What if that? What if somebody can do this, then somebody else can do that as well.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know. But you know, through the change and obviously coming here, then I met my wife, and that changed, and those views and everything changed as well. You know, so it was the stopping being so protective all the time. You know, so that's like
protective or defensive.
Belief. Defensive and protective.
Okay.
Protective of yourself and defensive to make sure you don't fall in the same pit again.
Wow, that's interesting. All right, guys. And the great thing about life is that every day we're writing our story, right? We're writing our story, and we can keep on moving forward. And thankfully, we can see the wins that we had, when we said, forget that old nonsense and learn from it and move forward, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Look, guys, we're going to go straight into it now with our elements from last week's Love Talk with Bishop James. It's going to go deep today, but it's going to be very helpful, very useful. All right. So I know there are those of you that when it comes to Thursdays, you like to listen in because you don't want to distract from the information. But if you do have a few comments, please feel free to put it in the live chat. But we're really going to go into this right now. And I'm really excited. Sabrina, you excited?
I am.
Yeah. Of course you are. You're the secret assassin. Haute couture. Levante. Sabrina. Ebony Durante. 7. Cologne, get yours today. All right, guys. So we're going to go into part 1. Take it away, Kat.
We're going to be talking about how to not continue with the past or in the past, but to use the past to your advantage. Everybody has a past, sometimes good, sometimes bad. But either way, everyone has a past. And actually, in Haggai, God's word says, now therefore, thus says the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. You have sown much and bring in little. But you can consider your past in 2 different ways. In a way that brings you no benefit, and in a way that you can learn and better your chances of being happy. For example, we have a lot of people who consider the past. But when they consider the past in a way where they blame everyone else for everything that's ever gone wrong in their relationships. This is considering your past, but this is considering your past in a way that doesn't help you. For example, if someone says, you know what, I've dated 5 different men in the past, and you know what I've learned is that all men who work in banking, all the men I've dated were in banking. What I've learned is that all men from banking that work in banking are terrible partners. You're considering your past, but you're considering your past in a way that you are not learning anything for yourself on this idea. You are putting the blame on bankers. And certainly, not every banker is bad. Not every salesman is bad. Not every person of a certain nationality is bad. When you think like this, you are saying that you didn't make any mistake. I'll give you an example. I had a relationship before I met Elena. I dated a person as a pastor, someone from the church, and that relationship didn't work. The person was not born of God. But I learned something. When that relationship started, I was very naive. And because someone from the church introduced me to that person, I didn't do my homework. I thought, a bishop introduced me to this person, naturally this person is of God. I was wrong. So when the relationship ended, what did I learn? I learned that I was too emotional. I considered the mistakes that I made, and I considered that I didn't go into that relationship to see, let me watch this person from afar and see if she has the character of God. Instead of doing this, as soon as I started dating the person, I ticked the box, she's of God. Big mistake. So afterwards, when I met Elena, I did things differently. I considered my ways and I said, no, I have to, this time, I'm not going to go in all guns blazing. I'm going to take my time and before I develop feelings for this person, I'm going to see her character, her behavior. Right?
Yeah, sure. Good evening. You've learned from your past. But we have people as well, just another example, which is something very common. People who say, oh, but I came from a home where my mom was a single mom and my grandmother was also a single mom. You are not learning from that. What could one learn from that? Well, now I have the knowledge of the Word of God, so I can change my life. Your argument will forever be, I grew up without this, I grew up without that. Some people grew up with parents, but it's as if they didn't have any. Some complain they didn't have any. So we are all victims. See what I mean? But the Word of God sets us all free by saying, consider your ways, like think.
And the Bible says, consider your ways, not someone else's ways.
Powerful. Absolutely powerful. And this is the thing about, saying I want a godly relationship, is that we need to really take responsibility, right? Sometimes it can be a thing, and like Bishop gave the example that somebody, a bishop introduced him to somebody. And because Bishop introduced him to someone, it's like, oh, this person's of God, right? And to be honest with you, especially, I would say coming from our time as well, I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, so long as they have a responsibility in the place of worship, they're of God. And we assume, and maybe we even look over certain details simply because of that, of the role they have or who may have recommended us. But consider your ways. So that means that no matter what anybody said or who anybody refers them to me to be, it's my responsibility for something so grave, so important, to do my due diligence, to see who the person is. to observe them over time. Love life has been one of the biggest challenges in the faith that we've seen over the years, right? I believe everybody would agree.
Yes.
And sometimes we've had people come back and say, I didn't know. It's true, to some degree we didn't know, but at the end of the day, I'm sure, and I'm very confident, it's things that God probably put in our heart, but because of the desire that we want to please ourselves, to please other people, to get what we want, we neglected what God said to us inside of our heart. Hey, Chris?
Yes, I totally agree with that. That sometimes you have seen the signs, it's clear to you, but because your desire overrides your rational, you'll still go and put yourself in that situation. And if you're not doing your due diligence before, which is very, very important, if you can actually pull back and be rational, not pull back, say, oh, well, this, that, and the other. You still have a relationship, but it's like recognizing there's two sides to this. There is the desire, there's the relationship, but there's also the rational. This is my future. This is my whole life. This is something I need to think about. If you go into the shop, the supermarket, to buy something, especially if you're into health, you're going to pick up the product, you look at the back of something like that, right? But you go into a relationship, this is great. And then after you don't know, that product starts working differently inside you. So you got to take time. Something else I just want to mention on that, because when we talk about these things, we always talk about somebody else. We got to look at ourselves, and as Bishop mentioned, because we got to look at this side as well. A slice of bread has two sides to it. So we have to actually learn about our ways. Like I was saying earlier on, that protective thing about relationship, I realized, there were some things in me that I had to change and start looking at things different as well. And making sure that that past doesn't come back and dictate the present, which is going to be the future.
Yeah. Slice of bread has two sides. I love that. I love that. It's always about what we want or what they're doing wrong, but we sometimes forget about ourselves. Anybody else have caught anything from what Bishop said today that you want to add to? Yeah, go ahead, mate.
Yeah. I like the way Bishop was talking about consider your ways. He just kept repeating it over and over again, and that's something that I'm guessing he wanted to drum home, was that he wants us to think about our own participation in experiences that we've had, and not just look at every other character as if every time we suffered, it was always something that was done to us. And I think that's probably one of the easiest human experiences to relate to, is looking at wrong that's done to us, and probably harder to relate to, because it's probably just something that is so difficult to do, because a lot of the time you're either battling the feeling of not wanting to recognize what you did, or just being so upset or in such a negative way about what happened to you that you can only think about what was done to you. But I think what Bishop was talking about is looking at how our own behavior helps allow things to happen, or sometimes that we facilitate other people to treat us a certain way because we allow certain things to slide, or we're not paying attention the way that we could, and a number of other things that maybe weren't particularly mentioned. And that's something that hit home for me. It's just to think about the role that I play in my own suffering sometimes, and how I can use that to go into another situation where if I really think about what I did, and if I really recognize something, that's the only way I can learn, and I can stop that from ever maybe happening to me again.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Nicely said.
Yeah, very well delivered. Another thing, Miss Helena came in there and she spoke about, in terms of our past, how we can use how we grew up, situations like, I came from a single parent household, or all I know is unfaithfulness, and all kinds of things that were out of our control that we grew up with, right? And we kind of use that as an excuse, as if we're a victim, right? And I actually have a clip to show you right now, actually, concerning this particular subject, and I just want to get your thoughts on it. All right, there it is, right there, purple background. There we go. Drop it like it's hot.
Women in general become a victim in relationships. I've been in relationships where I was a victim every single time there was something wrong with a man. A man could say one thing and I'm like, well, you did. Remember when you 6 months ago said da 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 da? And that's how I used to be programmed to be. It is so important as a woman, if you want to have a sustainable relationship with a man, to regard his feelings. We disregard men's feelings so much, and it's so foul to a man because he no longer can express himself. He can't tell you how he's feeling. He cannot literally be in a relationship where he can actually approach you and say, yo, this happened. I feel this type of way, because the first thing we're going to do is be like, well, what did you do last week? Did you take your shoes? Did you and we do not apologize.
Powerful, right?
Yeah.
So so she was giving an example from a women's perspective, right? And it could happen with men as well. Men can be dismissive, right? We gave an example of how women can influence the relationship very strongly. So I think that's where she's coming from also. But because of past things, we don't want to hear that we're wrong. We don't want to hear that we're at fault. And we have things told to us, maybe out of love or just to hear what our partner needs. But guess what? We bat it away. We're very dismissive because of whatever happened in our past. Hey, Charlene, Chanel.
Yeah, it's true. And like going back to the whole victim thing, the thing is, when you're in a relationship, when you're dating, or even as an individual, we all come from different backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
So there are going to be different personalities, and there may be personalities that the person doesn't agree with, or the personality that you don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
But the main important thing is, if you receive that correction, are you willing to change? Because the thing is, when you get into the dating period, you can't expect the person to be perfect, and you can't pinpoint any little mistakes that they do. I think the most important thing is, if they acknowledge that mistake, are they going to work on it? If they're going to work on it, then that is going to lead to a successful marriage in the future. But the most concerning thing is if they don't want to work on it and
How
they
do
refuse.
you feel about getting critiqued?
How do I feel about getting critiqued?
Yeah. So now you got a ring on the finger. He walked you across the threshold. You know what I mean? And it's 2 days into the relationship, and all of a sudden he's putting things out about you.
Do you know what? I've received a lot of critiques in my lifetime, and it's helped me to grow. So if that critique is adding to me and it's making me to grow, then I'm up for it. But if it's something where my essence has been taken away, there has to be some negotiation.
What do you mean the essence has been taken away?
Like, for example, if I have a personality that doesn't affect anyone, it could be an example of I'm trying to think. Yeah, if I have a personality that doesn't affect you,
in a negative way.
In a negative way.
Like if you're bubbly and you want you to be calm or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Then sorry, I can't, because you've met me like that. But the thing is, if it's something that is affecting me and affecting the person, then I'm willing to change that. Because I am someone that thanks for pointing that out to me. I am someone that is very bold and full of energy. So for me to be silent, I'm not gonna be myself. You know. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. That was very, very enlightening. Sabrina, anything that stood out for you in that last bit and what's been said so far?
I was trying to think. I'm trying to like process everything, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of information, especially even with the morning coffee question and everything. I was really trying to think about, just things in my past that have affected me. And I think one of them as well has been like perfectionism, like wanting to be perfect and wanted to be right for everybody, you know, especially as well like in relationships. Like I don't know what it was in my past or anything that I went through, but I felt the need for people to like me and to want me and to want to be in a relationship with me. So when they did point out something to me that was wrong, I couldn't understand and I couldn't accept it. So I found it hard to be critiqued or being told that, oh, actually this is not good or this is not right. And I don't know, you know, like when you beat yourself up about things, because it's like, no, I really want to be perfect. I really have to be perfect. So you try to change things. And then if that person doesn't see that change or see that, you know, you're now perfect, it just kind of like does something as well, like to what it used to do something to my confidence at the time. So I found it really hard to like move past that. Yeah.
Here's an interesting thing. I mean, after that would take place, what would be your reaction to a person, you know, battling with those thoughts and insecurities inside of yourself? Was you a bit more combative or would you shut down? What would it be
I
like?
think in different periods of my life, I did different things. So I think probably in the earlier stages, I would kind of like fight back, you know, and then there were times when I will kind of like draw away. And then I'll kind of like start distancing myself from relationships. So then I'll just start not to like things about that person and just, you know, slowly move away. Or I'll just find myself like irritated with that person because it's like, okay, well, I'm not making that person happy, or I'm not perfect enough, I'm not good enough, so you know what, let me just walk away from that relationship. So I found it very easily I could just cut someone off and just not talk to them anymore and just not and forget about them.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
That's tough, right? And imagine that person seeing you behave like that, they're wondering, what have I done? You know what I mean? So it really is a spiral of hurt people, or you know, hurting people, or incomplete people, taken away from other people to make them incomplete. Human beings are very complex creatures. And we're going to go into it further. We're going to go now into the next part. Take away, Kat.
If you say, actually, you know, what happened in the past is because that person that I used to date, she was a tough piece of work. She was not easy. So you're not considering your ways. You're considering that person's ways, because guess what? If that person was not easy to deal with, who chose that person? Perhaps the selection process wasn't great. We can say, actually, that person, that kind of person, I'm not going to date that kind of person anymore. But if you chose the person, maybe the person wasn't great. Maybe the person didn't have character, didn't have the character of God. But in the end, someone chose that person.
Yeah, that's a big one. All right, taking ownership. That is a huge one. All right. There's times, I remember one time I had a complaint. I'm going to open my heart now. I'm going to expose myself. I had a complaint. All right. I had a complaint to Bishop Jr. And he said something very interesting. He said, okay, this is your complaint. But you know, there are human beings who can be like this sometimes. And don't forget about the things that you liked about the person. There were things about the person that made you say yes. So instead of focusing on the complaint, focus on the things that you liked. And God will help you work on the complaint, right? So at the end of the day, so we can come with all guns blazing saying what faults are with our partner or what faults are with people. But at the end of the day, we chose the person. I think the biggest challenge as well is when a person is choosing the same type of person each and every single time, complaining about that type of person. What do you mean? What's going on with that?
Yes, man. I put that on my quote. I think because I've had Facebook for over odd years. I must have put that there 3 times. You all say women are the same, men are the same. Stop choosing the same people. Stop choosing the same type of men. Yeah. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Sabrina, please shed some light on this situation. Please, because I know you've spoken to lots of different ladies, and you've got lots of, and especially because you're Caribbean, because I know this in Caribbean industry as well, that there are women who complain about this. And I need you to, and as I'm coming to you as well, I know you speak with ladies as well. Give me some light on this situation concerning women.
What, on choosing the same kind of guy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's just maybe a need. I mean, I only can speak for myself actually, because I was that kind of person as well. Okay. Yeah, in the world anyway. Like I used to choose the same type of guys. Like, but I guess probably it's something in your, I don't know, like maybe it's something that you feel like that void that you need to fill. So for me, it was like I always used to choose the same kind of guys, guys who are in gangs, guys who are bad, but at the same time, I wanted them to be sweet, but bad at the same time. Yeah. And then obviously I'll complain when they keep doing the same things, like if they cheat or they're always with girls or whatever, then I'll complain like, oh, you guys are the same. But obviously my mindset was always going to that type of guy, that particular person.
Did you look down on any other type of guy?
Yeah, sweet boys.
You look down on sweet boys?
Yeah, I thought that they were too
What
much.
is a sweet boy?
Okay. A boy he's nice, he's too nice. Like he always wants to, I don't know, maybe like very affectionate, lovey-dovey. Yeah, I don't know, like, but for me, like the bad boys stood out more because they were confident, they were bold, they were go-getters and so forth. I'm not saying that sweet boys are not go-getters, but I don't know. It's just like maybe I felt like I needed someone to stand up for me, fight for me, or I don't know.
There was a sense of protection from these type
I guess
of
so.
people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I think it probably does stem from your past though, because growing up, like I was in a household where there was domestic violence. So, you know, the male figure was very like dominant and very aggressive and so forth. And so I guess maybe going outside, I wanted someone who was going to be like a protector, not someone that was going to be weak. So I viewed sweet boys as weak.
Wow. So we heard from Chanel and the one on Sabrina. Esther, shed some light on this madness.
For me, similar to what she was saying, a lot of people feel because they have a type. Like, this is my type. Like, this is what I'm attracted to. This is what I go for. And they don't even look at the other options. They don't even look at the sweet guys. They don't even look at the light-skinned guys or the dark-skinned guys or whatever, you know, is out of their preference box. And sometimes they're just blinded by the good traits. Because for me, I want to know what's bad. Like, let me see if I can handle what's bad before I even look at what's good in you.
Okay.
Because we all have mistakes. We all have our flaws. Like, everybody has it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it comes with just being human.
Yeah.
So I just feel like people, sometimes they don't dig enough. Like, it's more of, sometimes they look at age. Oh, I'm this age. Like, I need to settle down. I need to have kids. I need to do, you know what I mean? But there shouldn't be a rush, man. Because when you do all of that rushing and quick diving, it always ends badly.
Do you think women thinking like, and I'm picking on women now, right? Do you think women behaving like this? Because some guys are really nice guys, and like they're even though they're in the faith now, maybe there's something in the program in the back of this lady's mind that make them overlook what's right in front of them right now, which is good because of this old programming. And maybe there's a lady listening right now, and maybe maybe it could be the environment that she's in. Maybe like the environment of domestic abuse, or I know I have some people that that I'm familiar with that they always go to the same place to find guys. They're not coming love therapy, right? They're going to certain places for entertainment, and they're picking up this guy. Do you think this is also affecting their mindset and their preference?
No, 100%. 100%. I've had this conversation with females plenty of times. You can't expect going, because most of the girls that I used to talk to, they're club girls from when we used to do bartending, promo, all of these things. They get the same type of guy in the club or in the lounge, and then the guys are always there surrounded by girls all the time, pretty girls, beautiful girls, and then they complain, then they go back and try and find the next one. But it doesn't work like that. You need to, first of all, take time to heal and work on yourself and see what you're doing wrong. Because it's unfair to keep jumping from guy to guy, because sometimes you can find a good guy, but because you're so rotten and so traumatized and all of these things, you jeopardize it, and that could have been your blessing. Like, even if some people come to LT with all of that trauma and all of that past scars, even if God puts the person right there, you're not even going to see it. The person could have all the traits that you want in a man, but you're completely going to disregard it because you're holding on to that perception or that hurt or whatever it may be.
Consider your
self
ways, right?
I was going to add to that. Sorry, I was just going to add to that because I did exactly the same thing. Like, I've had guys who are really good and I've just overlooked them because my brain was just like, no, not you, it can't be you. Like, you know, even though everything about them was good. I'm not saying they were perfect, but they were a good
you
person.
can't be you. Wow.
But it was just like, you know, it's just like, oh my gosh, like, am I really going to do this kind of thing in terms of like properly settle down with this person? But it was just like my mind was so fixated on this type of person that I couldn't see like an option with that type of person. Strong. So yeah, it's about changing your mindset.
It's very deep, Chris. It's very deep. And the thing about it is, imagine you have a lady who's worked on herself, right? She's had an encounter with God, and she's got a new heart, right? Hopefully a new mind, right? And you have a guy, new mind, new heart, LT, right? But guess what? The person that they're looking at hasn't sorted themselves out properly. Do you know what I mean? Their heart is still in the past. This is why it's like, if you're going to do things a godly way, it has to be 100%, right?
It has to be 100% godly way. But the thing about it with people who still have those things from the past and walk that walk is there's a fear of the future. So we like to stay in a safe place. It's safe to be the way we are with what we're familiar with or who we're familiar with. So sometimes they even have the opportunity ahead, but I don't know, let me go back there instead.
Yeah.
So once we can actually break that chain and explore the new opportunities, then we can embrace what's new, which is a blessing for us.
Love that.
Yeah.
We're really breaking it down today, guys. I'm really loving this conversation. You loving it, Will?
Yes.
Yes. We're going deep.
And you know what? There's also the opposite way around. Like, you know, when you both were mentioning like bad guys, I remember sometimes it happens to women, because I remember years ago when I was in the wrong marriage and when there was a relationship that didn't work out, this thought came to my head. Okay, well, maybe I'm too good a goodie. Do I need to be a bit bad so that the guys can listen? Because I used to always see guys going after bad girls as well. So I thought to myself, oh, do I need to be bad for these guys to listen?
Wow.
But luckily, I got advice from the right person who told me that, listen, you don't need to be bad. You just have to have discernment when it comes to your relationship. So I think the bad boy image can happen to women as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is it, man. It needs to be 100%. If we're going to do this God thing, it has to be total, complete. Otherwise, we're going to hurt somebody else or we're going to hurt ourselves. Consider our ways. Let's go to the next part, Kat. Hey, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show. Just thought I'd interrupt. If you haven't done already, smash the robust like and subscribe button. Why not? Why not? You like us, I like you. Why not?
There are people that they don't allow themselves to be known by someone else. In order for someone to be with you and for you to be close to someone, you have to allow the person to get to know you. And sometimes we see that there are people who go to events like this, the Love Walk, the Singles Hour, or even sometimes in the church, and they are very unapproachable, off-putting even. And, you know, few things are more attractive and welcoming than a smile. When someone smiles at you, or when you smile at someone, you are giving the person permission to talk to you. Amen. Yeah. You know, a person who is of God is not attracted by cleavage, by stature. The person is attracted by your personality. And if you have the character of God. So sometimes the person even goes for a love walk because everybody's going. But you know that person who goes to the dance? Everybody's talking, mingling, dancing, and the person is there like this. So consider what? Your ways. Consider your ways if your relationships in the past were destroyed because you were not sincere from the get-go. We've seen cases that, you know, the person only revealed that they had children a year after they were dating. That's something that should come up in your first couple of dates. We've seen cases where the person says, oh, what do you do? I work for myself. And the person thought, wow, he's an entrepreneur. He's a businessman. But maybe what he meant by works for himself is that he doesn't have much of a direction in terms of job prospects. He doesn't do much. So what he does for who? For himself. So you weren't sincere. Consider your ways. If you know that your conflict resolving skills in the past were terrible, you lost your temper, you fought, you raised your voice, and all of these things, and it didn't work, why are you going to do it again? Consider your ways. Do something different. Do something different. Well, last time you raised your voice, last time you fought, this time, be patient. Because there's a reason why when the past doesn't work, people try to change things. Right? Think about it. Whenever, you're trying to sell something on eBay or whatever people sell things these days. You're trying to sell something, you put something for sale, nobody's buying. A month's gonna buy, nobody sent you a message, I wanna buy. What do? Maybe you take new pictures. Is it true or not? These pictures are terrible. You switch on more lights and different angles, better description. Maybe you reduce the price a little bit. But people sometimes, when it comes to their relationship, they just do the same thing again and again.
This is very, very interesting. All right. So we're talking about, Bishop's passing to us now about people just not getting it, right? Not getting it that, we definitely have to work on things, and we keep trying the same tactic again and again and again. He touched on conflict resolving skills, right? So you've done something another way. You've had things that didn't work out so many times because you end up shouting and almost choking the person, but yet we can still think that the other person is the issue. Be a sincere and transparent person. Sometimes we're that person that upgrades our CV, but we also upgrade our love life CV in our conversation, and just in order to make us look better. I think we even watched a video last week, right, where the person goes, I'm a technician, of holistic, yeah. And the guy, he sells chocolate bars that are like, in the street in Africa. And the lady's like, I'm a nail, these big grandeur names. And then she's just scrubbing feet, which is nothing wrong with that. But we have to be very truthful. But sometimes he gave the example that we're selling something, people are not buying. If we're selling something, we'd normally do something to improve it. But we don't do that with ourselves, which is very interesting. Who's going to go first? Go ahead, Will. Okay. Open your heart, brother.
Oof. Wow.
There's quite a few things there, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it was definitely a chunk to sink my teeth into. What I did write down first was, I suppose maybe the first thing Bishop covered was that to have a relationship with someone where you grow close, you have to allow that person to get to know you. And yeah, I thought that was interesting because something that I said you'd mentioned like very briefly earlier was in a previous relationship that guy didn't know you, in your opinion, and I'm assuming that's something that you came to terms with after it had finished. So I feel like for a lot of people, where they may get caught up on with relationships is maybe they reflect on their actions and then they think, I'm so annoyed that I didn't quite figure this out during the relationship. Maybe I could have saved the relationship, things like that. But I think sometimes what we should appreciate is that at least now, because it's not a given that you get to figure out what went wrong in previous situations. I think sometimes we can take that for granted in itself as well.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think, as some people might see it as naive, but I literally see it as quite simply, you were supposed to figure out when you're supposed to figure out. It's all part of the plan that God has for you. Because maybe that past relationship that you're slightly hung up on, it was supposed to be a learning experience. It wasn't supposed to be the relationship with the person that you spend the rest of your life with, and it could very well be the next one, or maybe the next one doesn't quite work out as well. Maybe there's stuff in that one that you need to learn from as well. But at the very least, as long as you're evaluating and as long as you actually are looking for what's going wrong in those relationships, I don't think people should look at it and think, oh, this is a cause for concern that I didn't realize at the time. Sometimes it's maybe not necessarily a cause for celebration, but something that you should appreciate, that you have actually figured out what you did that was wrong. Because you can't change what other people are going to do in relationships thinking, oh, I know what everyone else was doing wrong to me.
Right.
That's
the past carrying forward again, isn't it?
Exactly. You can only ever do what you have control over. So you might date someone again who, you can't be thinking that you're going to date someone who isn't going to have flaws or anything like that. You will also have flaws even when you evaluate what you've done. But you can control what you do, and that sometimes can be the thing that actually if it is actually the right person you're supposed to be with, you know, you can have a hiccup, you can have an obstacle, but you move past that obstacle because of what you've learned from the previous ones.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yes, anyone's going to... Yeah, go ahead, Steph.
For me, I just want to touch on what he was saying about, like, just making sure that you analyze your mistakes of what you've done in the past. And I think that was a big thing for me because my first one, I didn't know what I was doing. He didn't know what he was doing. We were very young. We didn't know each other. It was more like us being put together. And I left with a lot of what ifs. What if I did this and what if I did that? And then I just took time to be like, you know what? Learn from it. What could you do differently the next time? What could you improve on? I didn't let that eat me alive. Like, oh my gosh, your life is ruined. You would never find... No, it's like I started going to... I went back to LT and did all of these things to fix what I needed to fix. Take accountability, take ownership. Even though it wasn't fully my fault, it was on both parties, but I can't control the next person. I can control myself and what I can do better. And then more relationships are going to come, more talking stages will come. And then when the next one came, there was no more, even though it ended, but there was no more what ifs. Because I knew that what I needed to fix was fixed. I did my part. And if it's failing, it's not because of me. This person still needs to fix a certain thing within themselves. And then you just carry on improving, carry on improving, carry on moving forward, carry on doing better. Because once you focus on yourself, you don't even get frustrated with somebody else's mistakes.
That's a good point,
And that's one thing that I've noticed. Before, I used to get frustrated, like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? But sometimes when you know, you become more patient with an individual's faults because you clearly see that was you before. And if a person had more patience, maybe this wouldn't have been like, do you know what I'm trying to say?
And that's God's personality, right? God, like, sees us for who we are. Right, and he has so much patience, long suffering for us, and only in a relationship do we actually get to exercise that and improve, right, Chris?
I totally agree. You said God sees us for who we are. That's so true. Because what we're talking about here, we're talking about the internal and the external. And most times, relationships that we're in is a reflection of our internal, in who we are at that time in our life. But we're human beings, we're evolving, we're changing, we're transforming. But sometimes we want somebody to transform the same time that we are. And that's
true.
why sometimes it's good to stick a relationship and work it out together gradually as you go along the way and build. Because you're going to find that one person might be up here, one might be like different things, but you can work it together.
I love that. I actually got a video here to show you sometimes what it's like if we go into a relationship or we're trying to do anything, but we're not doing it God's way in considering our ways. This is how it's like. Check this out.
What it's like trying to heal myself without Jesus.
Did you get it?
It's on the mirror.
It's on the mirror. So we're never actually going to deal with the issue because we're just looking at a mirage of whatever we think, whatever's in our head, and it's not actually hitting home for us.
External.
Exactly. And they touched on something very interesting. I want this to hit home because we've got the Love Walk coming up on the 14th of September in Kennington. It's an opportunity for couples to come together and have that conversation with no what ifs, all right, with respect, obviously. And it's an opportunity for singles to come and be in an environment where they could bring someone who they take an interest in, or just to talk to see where this person's at and to show, like, I'm looking at you, let's see, where we can work on something, or just single people to be there. And you just never know who you might catch eyes with, all right? And Bishop and it's going to touch on something that some people, they're just so in their own world. They're like Batman. They're like, I'm Batman. I'm in the shadows. When I'll come out, it's only when I'm ready for you to see me. And they're missing out. And I actually have this wonderful video that I really want to share with you guys. I love this video. So this is going to everybody who's not thinking about going Love Walk and who's considering it. Check this out.
My dear, you cannot find the love of your life indoors. What did I say? You cannot meet the love of your life when you are inside. Hey, I'm a lover girl, I'm a lover girl, I'm a lover boy, I'm a lover. You are single. You are a single. You are a single thing. Single. Plural. Singular. One. Just you. I'm a lover boy. Eh? Sitting on the sofa like a bed bug. You're a bed bug. That's what you are. You're a bed bug. My friend, if you don't get up and get out and socialize, you think you're going to meet the love of your life inside? Rubbish.
That's a bit intelligent.
If you was an introvert, I'm sure you're healed. After that,
Don't be a bed bug.
Don't be a bed bug. Bishop couldn't say it like that. I couldn't say it like that. Had to go find someone online to drop it like it's hot, get some motivation. But the point is that I feel like watching it again. If you need that, just ask me to send it to you. Ask you for the WhatsApp line. I'll send it to you. But there you go. So sometimes we need to fight against ourselves. Whether we're extrovert, that we're giving too much or requiring too much, or we're just too pushy, or whether we are an introvert that we say, this is how I am, I don't speak. You will stay single. All right. So that means wherever we are on the scale, we're hearing the information. Let's work on ourselves. That's part of it. Working on ourselves so we can meet and engage with people. Let's go to this next part here. Is this the final one, Kat? Oh, this is number 4. Okay. Take it away, Kat.
The Bible says like this: if anyone is in Christ, he is what? A new creation. All things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. In order for God to work in your love life, you have to do something new. And perhaps what you have to do new is not necessarily your presence, your appearance. Because actually, Lena, that's another point. A lot of people think that they will solve the problem by doing something different. So the person, pay rivers of money to make themselves look different. And the problem maybe is not that you look different, is the change that happens inside the mind.
There's something about you. You may change your hair, you may change your teeth. Now you have a very nice white, bright teeth, but the smile is just fake. Like, this is the biggest clue. It says, consider your ways. You have sown much, but bringing little. So that should tell you you're doing something wrong. You are dwelling in the past, or you are continuing in the past, or you are stuck in your ways. It's the way you think. It's your stubbornness. This is how I am. My grandfather was like that. My great-grandfather was like that. I am from this culture. I am from this whatever. But look, if you have sown much and bring in little, consider your ways.
And this change is not something that a book that you may buy here in the bookshop is going to change in you. This is something that if you realize that how you dealt with relationships, with your own relationship in the past didn't work, you have to ask God to change this in you. And if maybe you realize that the problem was with you, that you weren't sincere, you weren't honest, you weren't open, you had, maybe you thought you had all these hang-ups about your appearance, and you thought that if you get married and someone would love you, then your hang-ups about your appearance would go. And that never happens. It's a lie. Do you know when your hang-ups about your appearance will disappear? When you have an encounter with God. Because nobody can make you feel better about yourself. They can do that temporarily. Do you know what many people do? They go to their partner. You have to love me more. You have to give me more attention. And when you say, Bishop, my problem is that I don't get attention, that's not your problem. Do you know why? Because when you have the Spirit of God, you have a relationship with God, your life doesn't revolve around that person anymore, and you are happy. When you are empty of the Holy Spirit, you know what happens? You look for fulfillment in someone. You want the person, to always be there, giving you all the attention, doing all these things, showering. When was the last time you gave me flowers? You didn't give me flowers. You didn't do this, didn't do that. The person can throw flowers, petals at your feet, put rose petals on your bed. Doesn't solve your problem. Because instead of considering your ways, you're considering whose ways? That person's ways. He didn't put rose petals in my bed. She didn't do this. And when the problem is where? It's something that you have to look inside. Amen. And if you do that, you cannot lose. Because whether you are single or married, you grow as a person. You fix that problem. And if you are single, when you are going to be with the person God prepared for you, you're sorted. You've dealt with the issue. Your issue of insecurity will not be dealt because you found someone.
Wow. Beautiful. I was having a moment there, enjoying the program, enjoying these lovely cookies that Chanel brought this morning, Lady Jazz. And we've been enjoying some plums this morning. I'm so happy today. When the table of justice is full, the ratio's high that the goodies are going to come to the studio. Is this an cat?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's great. And we've been enjoying the cookies and enjoying the conversation today. And it's very interesting. I don't know if you've seen that clip, Kat, I've just sent over to you, where Bishop's speaking about the person has this idea in their head. So long as I find someone to love me, I will be happy. That's already frightening.
Red flag.
Red flag.
Yeah. Red flag.
Red flag.
Terrifying, right? However, those with this kind of mindset maybe are around you every day. And they look, using a woman for example, because women have beauty, right? They look beautiful. They have glorious makeup. They know how to look lovely. They're the perfection of genetics. However, internally, things might be happening like this. Check this out.
Yo, Beyonce.
Some of them men think they freak just like we do, but no, they.
Scary.
Right?
Really disturbing.
Yeah.
Right? Right? Will, imagine after making vows and everything like that, a lady goes into the shower, comes out one way after the wedding day and comes back out like that. How would you feel?
How'd that feel?
Like, and you see the original source material. How would you feel?
To be fair, where do I even begin? Like,
Speechless.
yeah, I mean, like,
you're a young guy.
I'm trying to buy time.
All your hopes and dreams ahead of you.
Right, yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And then the lady, like, if you play that in reverse, you've got this lady with all this hair, but in the end, it looks like someone else comes out of the bathroom.
Yeah, that's why you keep the receipts. You never tell the receipt when you.
My friend, you signed you signed a covenant on the altar.
Scary.
But this is the reality, right? This is the reality when we don't work on us. We think that we are okay enough, and we are not intent to know that part of the equation is ourselves. Yeah. Right? It's a huge thing. You mentioned it, Sabrina, right? Before, you've had to literally you've been on a journey. Right?
I've been on a journey. Yeah.
Right? God has given you one of his sons. Right? You're now engaged to one of God's sons. Mm-hmm. Now imagine if the Sabrina at the start of our journey got hold of one of God's sons. Right?
Finished.
Right? Because I know you growing up, very pretty girl, right? But there was a whole heap of stuff going on the inside, right? What? Imagine if that Virtual Petrina got a really good guy got godson today. What kind of conflicts do you think they would have if they were doing all the right things?
What conflicts would they?
Yeah, what kind of problems do you think would arise with the old Sabrina?
With the old Sabrina. Oh, yeah, a lot.
Yeah, you're being very deep,
because I
very
wouldn't
general.
be moldable or humble. Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, I need to, like what I was saying before, obviously, like when people would tell me, or when someone would tell me something about myself, I would kind of like be defensive and very like, okay, well, let me just walk away from this because it's not working, kind of thing. But
and the thing is, if there was social media like there is today, you go straight up and have an audience on social media telling them about all your grievances, and then there'll be people supporting you, and you'll still be alone.
But maybe I don't do those things.
Obviously, but I'm saying, but it just hit driving Bishop James's point that the issue isn't external. The issue starts from internally within ourselves, Chris, right?
Yeah, very much so. You know, in my comment when I saw that straight away, and I said, first what I said was scary. I wasn't only talking about the appearance. I was talking about the fact that you can actually deceive in that way. It's scary. Everybody's beautiful in their own way. You know? Everybody's got their partners attracted them, whether she had that on or not. But the fact of that is, look, you know what? We can dress up the external, but if you're not dealing with the internal, trust me, you're going to get the nightmare.
Yeah.
You are going to get the nightmare because that external person is attracted to that what is not you.
Yeah.
So then when you come out, you're just going to clash.
Yeah.
So you're buying the nightmare.
Wow. And
no
then,
receipts.
No
Just buy it and
receipts.
get in here.
It's a long-term nightmare.
Yeah.
All right. And we end up blaming everybody. And then we end up going on to social. Nowadays, like Lee said, people vent on social media. People say this person's toxic, right? That word toxic's been thrown around. And don't get me wrong, human beings have some very bad behaviors. But maybe somebody who's attracted to toxicity probably has something happening with them.
Inside, yeah.
Could that be something to consider?
100% chance.
Right? And then Bishop spoke about being sincere. We need to be sincere. There's somebody at the door. We need to be sincere, all right? And only when you're sincere can you be like, I need to fix up. Even though I do seem like the victim, I need to fix up.
And in saying that, that sincerity takes a while for people to actually get to know yourself. It's more or less getting to know somebody else, but it takes a while to really get to know yourself as well. So being authentic with you, but authentic with others at the same time.
Beautiful.
We're still growing.
All right, so look, so that we can get your final words and everything that's been shared today, we've got our final part, guys, and I love the journey. I could feel all of your energy from around the globe tuned into this morning. Literally, I think if everybody just hears these things, we would have better relationships, you know? And these things are not just if you're single, but also maybe in a relationship. Maybe we're not being our authentic selves in our relationship. Maybe we're in a relationship or a marriage for a long time, but we don't realize that we need to change. We need to change, try a different approach if we're not getting the results that we're seeing. Or it's like, oh no, I'm doing all that I can and this person isn't changing. This is why the author of love is so important. You know, there's this times in the Bible where they say these magic words that's always resonated with me. And it goes like this. May the Lord judge between you and I. Oof. When things happen like that, then it means it's no longer with me now. It's with him. And wherever the consequences are, where I'm in the wrong, I'm ready to feel the pain, to be molded, to be changed. But also, you better be aware as well. We need the author of love involved. We can't sidestep God. I always say this on Thursdays. We can't sidestep God. He's the one that keeps it fair. He's the one that brings the answer. He's the one that knows the intentions of everybody's heart and knows us more than we know ourselves. True. Let's go to the final part.
Your issue of insecurity will not be dealt because you found someone. Like a lady told me once, Bishop, I worship the ground my husband walks on. That's a problem. That's not going to solve the problem, to have someone who worships the ground you walk on. You're going to solve your problem when you consider your ways and you fix your debt, your problem with yourself. Maybe your problem is your addiction that you keep saying you're going to overcome. You never do. But you don't talk about your addiction to anybody. And it's not fair that you find someone, date the person, get married, and then when you get married, it's like a Jack in the Box. This prince turned out to be a frog. Surprise. Here are all the hidden things you didn't know about me. I have all these debts I never told you. If you're dating someone, the person leaves you, your life is not over. Because you are complete with the Lord Jesus. Having someone else, of course, is a promise of God, and God wants you to be happy in your love life. But if the person leaves you, your life is not over. But if you worship the ground that person walks on, that's the problem. Because if you lose that person, your life is over. Maybe the problem was that before you jumped in head first, someone said, I love you, you jumped in head first. And then people cling to all kind of cliches. Bishop, I've only met this person 2 weeks. But Bishop, when you talk to someone and it's like you know them all your life. Baloney. You know baloney? They say that in America, right? Baloney. That's what you're watching too many Hollywood movies. Because they are men and women who are experts at being actors. And then when you peel the layers, you find out that the person was nothing that they said that they were. But who is the problem with? Who is the problem with? The one who made the choice. Bishop, he was not sincere with me, but it was your job to check that he was sincere. It's your job. It's my job. It's our job. You're going to buy a house. Look, the roof, no problem. No leak, electricity. I have all the certificates, air conditioning, just installed. Everything is perfect. Do you want to buy it? Yes. Okay, he wants to buy. I sell him the house. When he buys the house, I say, here's the key. I go on holiday with the money I made selling the house. I'm there in the Caribbean. He calls me, hey, I have a roof I have a hole in the roof. I had to put a piece of cardboard there. Bishop, you lied to him. Who should have taken a surveyor there? Who should have taken a surveyor? Surveyor, check everything. Structure, roof, electric, everything. Wasn't that his job? He can say all he wants. He lied. He was true. Absolutely. But he should have done we call this due diligence. This is God speaking to us. We have a choice to either, say, my husband this, my boyfriend that, my girlfriend, I'm single now, but the boyfriends I had, they were all this, they were all that. And now the new word everybody uses is narcissistic. Right? All my boyfriends were all narcissistic. Well, if all your boyfriends, all of them were narcissistic, maybe, but then you have a problem choosing narcissistic people. Consider your ways. Maybe you move too fast. Bishop, the problem is that my wife this, but okay, but you either consider the ways of that person and nothing changes, or you consider yours and you start working on that, and then God starts bit by bit putting things right.
This was glorious. This was glorious. Guys, come on, let me hear your thoughts on what was said. Esther, you gave me that look in the eyes.
Yeah,
Drop it.
I've seen it all. It's like he's just saying different scenarios, especially with the part where he's like, what was it? Oh, I've been talking to this person for 2 weeks. It feels like I've known them my whole life. And this thing outside, my soulmate, soulmate. This is my soulmate. This is my partner. Because you guys match, you guys link, you guys banter. But everything has a honeymoon phase. Like everything, no one's gonna come to you with the toxic traits and the abusive trait. Everyone's gonna come with the love bombing, like you're beautiful, like I've been waiting for a girl like you. And a lot of the times with Christian females, like females that are trying to do better as females, they'll always come with the angle of I want to make you my wife, I want to do you right, I want to do things in the right way. But yeah, do your due diligence.
Yeah, this is it.
Can't even pronounce it properly, but yeah, do that, what he said.
And it's our responsibility. It's our our responsibility. Don't complain. You chose the person.
Don't complain when things don't go your way. Don't try and point fingers. Oh, he's a narcissist. He's toxic. He's this. He's that. It's your fault.
It's your fault.
Because if you were to check just a little bit more,
or not go by your feelings.
Exactly. Or put yourself in scenarios where it's like, how can I say this? Don't keep it too private.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of mistakes that people make. Yeah. One thing that I've learned to do is ask questions to people that have experience, because people seeing from an outside angle, they're gonna catch on these things. Because when you're in the moment, you're physically attracted to the person. Yeah. You like what they're saying. But if I go to you and be like, oh, he did this, he took me here, in a space of 2 weeks, you'll be like, he's moving too fast. Yeah. Go like, take it a bit slower. Do this, do that. Try it this angle. So I feel like if you open yourself up to help. If you can just admit to yourself, like, listen, I might not know what I'm doing, let me seek guidance, then things will go smoothly.
And look how wicked the human heart is, right, Chanel? The human heart doesn't want to hear another opinion when they want something. Yeah. The human heart is like, they might say something I don't like.
Yeah. No one understands.
Yeah. And then you go, and then you're experiencing bad experiences afterwards, blaming on the person, but you didn't want to listen or take, like Esther said, advice, right? You don't want it. You don't want to hear it. Or if you do hear it, it's like, but you've already made up your mind.
I know him.
It's a minefield, right, Chanel?
It is, because the thing is, when it comes to relationship, it's not going to be easy. You have to dive. You have to put your flaws out there. And I don't mean like do bad things or purposely, but let him know, oh, this is this side of me. I've got this flaw, I've got that flaw, I've got this flaw. What's your flaw? And then even if it means like you meet his parents and you ask his parents, what's his flaws?
That's right.
Get to know the person, because you've already seen the good. So say, okay, I know that you've got some good sides to you, but what is your bad? What is your weakness? What was the worst thing you've ever done and you've learned from it? So you have to ask the opposite question in order to get to know that person. And you also have to find out if that person has learned from those mistakes or learned from those flaws and working on those flaws as well.
That's true.
So it's all about asking questions and even testing them as well.
Yeah, Will. I mean, we always good. Like, we always want to put our best foot forward when we want to impress someone, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And actually, something that that was brought up. Yeah, I can relate to, unfortunately, being on the other side of that, where I didn't want to listen to people that was giving me advice. I didn't want to listen, like I talk about, I'd ask people for advice, but then I'd hear something that maybe I didn't really want to hear. And then later on, you was like, okay, well, like, say, like, those who do not hear must feel. You go and experience it, and you're like, okay, fine. It turns out, looks like the advice I was given was the right one. What I do give myself, not necessarily props for, but I'm happy with, is like I never had to go through like repeating the same experiences with people. It's more, I've noticed actually, even though I've not like dated much or things like that so far, but I've noticed I've had different experiences with different people that I've had some like day experience with. And I was like, okay, so I've been learning something new each time. And I'm very happy that I can look at these things and see with every single one, there was something to learn each time. And not like, oh, now I know how human beings really act, and literally all these things I'm learning are stuff about myself, which I'm really happy. And I'm hoping that I, in the future, will be able to give advice to people and things like that. But sometimes it is true that, you will have to actually go through some of these experiences, no matter how painful they are, because sometimes they don't quite hit home unless you experience them.
Yeah, bitter pill to swallow, eh?
It is.
And Sabrina, that last bit there, the truth is, all right, when we are of God, we love to see faith in a potential partner. We want to see that there's someone there using their faith. But the challenge is, if we don't know how to be relaxed or normal in a sense, we could just be attracted to their faith personality, or we could only portray the faith personality side and not want to know the other side of the person, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And then when you're living with them,
yeah. So I think it's very important as well, like just to, you have to do, it's your responsibility obviously to check, to do the groundwork as well, like, because I think when you're wanting a relationship, like when you want to be in a relationship, sometimes you just override a lot of things, like you just let things slide, and but you have to, like, what Chanel was saying, you need to look, ask questions, like find out, like sometimes people are not always going to tell you. It's for you to observe and for you to look at, like, okay, what are these this person's
putting your
flaws?
feelings aside.
Exactly. But also there was something that I wanted to add before I forget. But like, for example, how we are in our relationship with God, he wants us to be very sincere, isn't it? He knows us
transparent.
anyway. He knows us anyway, but it's for us also to open up and be transparent and honest, like, this is my flaw, this is what I need to change, this is what I need to work on. It's the same with relationships as well. Like, we should be transparent and honest and open about who we are, because before, like for me, like I used to be afraid as well to show all the different sides of me. Like I would want to show only the perfect parts,
or maybe the faith side.
Or maybe the faith side, but I also had to be open and say, look, I'm also, I struggle with this, or I struggle with that, or whatever.
And also I have a child as well. Bishop touched on those things.
So just being open and honest about everything, because at the end of the day, whoever is for you will be for you. Like, it's not everyone that's going to be for you, but whoever is, they will accept those things and then work with you to change it as well. So
love it.
I think just being sincere and open, because at the end of the day, it gives that person, it gives you something to work with as well. Like,
absolutely.
okay, so this is what I need to change.
You're not going there blind with surprises.
Exactly. So,
that's beautiful. I love that. And Chris, as we're just wrapping up today, I just want to say, like, because we have our faith personality. We're in a place of worship. We're like, yes, it's tied up. We have our faith personality, but I think we really need to know, especially when it comes to love life, to just show ourselves. Faith is us, but don't get me wrong, there's a point where we're in battle mode, faith, and there's a point where when someone comes and live with us, they will see us relax in the chair. They will see us, put our socks on the floor. If we do that, they will see all these other side. And I think it's important for people to see our relaxed side, not just the faith side. Do you know what I mean? We fall in love with the faith side. If we're a godly person, we want to see that is ticked on our checklist, but also to be able to be transparent and to show our personality.
The faith side is like, you're going out, you put on your sword, your breastplate, your sandals, your shield, and you're ready to go out there and you fight. But when you get home, you don't have those on you. You feel a bit more secure now. And you do. You kick off, you do whatever. That's not saying you're not of faith. This is who you are. You've got to see, we're not one-dimensional.
That's
None
right.
of us are. We have about 3 or 4, something, 5, complex way, complex,
Yeah, humans.
But picking up on a few things that were said as well, and tail off there, like when Esther said about learning from those with experience. I think that's really important to actually learn from those with experience, because they've been through the battle sides, they've been through the egos and everything. They've got no interest in telling you something that is not going to mend it. Well, actually, if they're in faith, that is, not just anybody, right? And then the other thing as well was that, I'm going to keep saying, I'm just repeating, internal, external. That's what it really is about, at the end of the day, internal, external. If you don't work on you, you are not going to make it work. But here's the crucial bit. We've been talking about the relationships and about others, but we got two sides, those about to get married and those who are married as well. So it doesn't mean because they're about to get married that there's those things that they don't dig and find out. And it doesn't mean that because you are married that you still continue to work on things, So there's somebody listening who is thinking, well, all right, that person's not for me, right? But then there's somebody who's married who's finding out, hey, 1 minute, that's like that. That means you still got to work on it instead, So both words, win-win.
Absolutely. There's this, just to finish up, where there's this Bible verse where God says that they may know me and understand me. This is the desire of God. I can't remember how it is. I'll probably share it with you if you are on the Breakfast Show WhatsApp line. But this is what it comes down to, right? Yeah. Oh, gosh, I can't remember it off the top of my head where it is. But basically, the journey of life is that we may know him. We may understand him. And when we're choosing a relationship, from all the things that I've learned today, harmonizing what everyone said and what you just capped off with, we're knowing that we're on a journey, that the person we're choosing is to understand them. If we're approaching them, is to understand them. If we're dating them, is to understand them to that level. If we're dating and they've ticked a few boxes, is to understand them to go to the next level, to make a covenant with them. And guess what? That we've got the covenant, we are still understanding and knowing them. This is a life journey, and if we don't choose well, it can be rocky. All right, guys, so let's keep working on ourselves. Let's keep going. Love Talk is tonight, 8 p.m. here in the Rainbow Theatre. Sorry, the Cathedral of Faith here in Finsbury Park. You're very happy to, it would be great to have you join us, where you're going to have access to all the bishop, the pastors, Bishop James himself, to speak with you, to talk with you, the environment. You're going to receive prayers. It's going to be absolutely wonderful, okay? And also you're going to be prepared, and we will let you know next week elements of it to recap you, to prepare you for the evening again. But it's just been great having you all spend the morning with us. Tomorrow we're going to have a replay Friday, where we're going to be allowing you to choose what you'd like to see played, or we'll let Kat just choose it. All right, but anyway, it's been great. Thank you, Table of Justice. It's been awesome having you all today. Give yourselves a round of applause, everybody. Open camera, Kat. Open camera, Kat. Open camera. Yeah, there we go. Table of Justice. Yay. I love it when you all come round, especially when you bring goodies. Yes or no, Kat? Absolutely. Guys, just rinse it off. Those plums are waiting for me. Oh, by the way, have a look at this, guys. Pass me that. Chris, Hazel and Chris, they prepared these lovely plums for us here. You know, we're all about gardening, and I've got some news for you on Monday. Will I be here on Monday? Because I know next week I'm going to be traveling away. It's going to be my anniversary on Sunday.
Wow. How many years?
Yes, give me the years.
It's 23 years.
Oh,
Epic.
23 years of living in the hood and staying alive, being married, with joy and gladness in my heart, serving the Lord. All right, this is going to be my anniversary. And
all thanks to LT.
No, you're right. Yeah, seriously, because if it wasn't for scripture, I would never have considered relationship life.
Right.
My past, that's something from moving forward. Yeah, so, you know, and LT, you know, it's a big one.
Great advertisement. If you want to reach 23 years, go to LT.
And it doesn't stop. You understand, know him. It doesn't stop.
23 years or more.
23 years.
Period.
And we had a birthday on the weekend, just very quickly, where Mama Cynthia was 70 years old.
Yeah,
and that's called it's called a Platinum Jubilee. Right, but there's apparently there's like one for like 25 years, and there's one for like Diamond Jubilee and that lot in between. So I think I'm gonna do something when it gets to 25 years, because me and my wife never do anything for these types of decade or anything, because we never care or think about it at all, you know. But we'll see how it goes. We've got another 2 years to go.
Great stuff.
2 years of planning.
2 years, 2 years of this LT.
2 years to plan.
2 years to plan. 2 years of LT. 2 years of being with the Lord and Jesus Christ in our lives. Amen.
Amen.
This is how we roll. All right, guys, until next time, have a good one. And any comments, message us on the Breakfast Show WhatsApp line is here on your screen. If you enjoyed the program, please share. If there are things we could change in the program, please share. If there's things that stood out for you, got a question for one of our guests, please share. Message us on WhatsApp through the Breakfast Show WhatsApp line. You've seen the email at the bottom. If you're somewhere that you don't have WhatsApp, send us an email over to producer@libertyradio.co.uk. Other than that, I think we're done. So over there, wait, big camera, big wave, 12 o'clock, so raise an hour. Other than that, ciao for now. Farewell. Farewell. Okay, guys, I really hope you enjoyed that show and you actually captured that breakfast show Vim. We laugh, we joke, we learn, and we equip ourselves for day-to-day life. If you want to see more, guess what? We're actually live with a live chat and a live video feed Monday to Fridays on libertyradio.co.uk from 8 a.m. in the morning. So don't miss a breakfast show beat. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and definitely connect online. And I'd like to see you there on the show. Type your name in, communicate on the morning. If you didn't already, we're also on Instagram. Check us out on Official Liberty Radio on Instagram. There's so much happening on that platform. Definitely go check it out. And I'd love to see you there. All right, have a good one.